I'll hold my hands up and say that today's video might be just for me, because I wanted to see how Biomes Aplenty by 4KS Studios, with its heavy usage of vanilla blocks and vanilla foliage, would work when combined with a texture pack like Afreshed Textures and Animations created by CreatorLabs, with its heavy animation and movement as well as its vanilla-esque art style. To set expectations here before we begin, I think we're going to get a nice amount of animation and movement even in custom biomes, but I do think there will be a jarring effect that occurs as the small amount of Biomes Aplenty custom grass and foliage stays static amongst the movements of the vanilla blocks. But let's go and see how it looks. Alright then, so we're in a world. I'm using the Afreshed Textures and Animation texture pack in slot number 1, and I've got Biomes Aplenty in slot number 2, if that matters to anybody. And what I can already see is kind of what I expected. We're standing in, I don't even know what biome this is, let's have a look real quick. We're standing in a volcanic plains biome, and have a look. We've got custom mobs with the cow texture, we've got moving vanilla leaves, moving vanilla foliage, but like I said in the intro, there is some little bit of clashing with the static Biomes Aplenty leaves and the static Biomes Aplenty foliage as well. So I mean, I like seeing the movement in here though. Like, that is such a good effect, just like being in a custom biome and having a lot of movement. Now, obviously, there is a voice in your mind that's going to tell you, like, wait a minute, things aren't moving. So the wind that you're essentially seeing from the movement isn't real, for lack of a better term, because things are still standing still. But where these biomes use these smaller vanilla trees as like shrubs and stuff, they catch the animation on the leaves there because we're using the jungle leaves. But unfortunately, obviously, with the lavender trees here using the lavender leaves, they're not animated. And just to be clear as well, say this nice and early, that's not the mistake of 4KS Studios with Biomes Aplenty. That's not a mistake of CreatorLabs with a fresh texture pack. This is just the reality, I guess, of what happens when you combine two custom packs. As we come out into the ocean as well, we get that Afreshed fog that occurs, but that's the biome atmosphere that would occur in the Afreshed texture pack. Obviously doesn't occur in custom biomes because because Biomes Aplenty doesn't know what these biomes are. But as we come through here, I mean, we can see, look, let's take this shot here, for instance. We've got the animated leaves of the oak leaves, but then the leaves here of the mahogany, they're not moving. So that's just whether or not you can suspend the disbelief there to have the movement in some places and not others. It's absolutely fine if you can't. I think long term, I'd probably look at it and be like, I don't know. But I mean, you've really got to look around to see, at least on a floor level, some stuff is moving. And it's not, you know what, it's not as apparent as I thought, actually, that some stuff wouldn't be moving. You almost have like a bit of a win with the vanilla, with the custom trees being so tall. Sorry, they're kind of out of shot when you're walking through. Can you argue that there's no wind up there? Can you argue that it's slightly out of the render distance to help with the immersion, to help with the suspension of disbelief? But then also you've got over here, like for instance, these trees, these oak leaves here with the custom logs, they actually fit quite well in the design. Maybe that's just me, but look, you got the oak log there into the mahogany log. They're kind of the same art style, very close, very similar, maybe not perfect. Excuse me, maybe not perfect, but very similar. What about if we come through a biome like this? This is this the shrubland? The rocky shrubland biome over here. So on here, we're getting movement on the flowers, movement on the foliage, movement on the leaves, all of which are vanilla. So that incorporation of using the vanilla blocks and the vanilla foliage really helping with the immersion. Coming into here, the shrublands are moving, the little shrub areas, the little bushy bits, they're all moving. But obviously the custom and varianced mobs as well. Like, look at this, we've got this chicken down here. Get a few more of them in. just to show you those as well. So you don't lose any of that feel of being in a custom world. In fact, it kind of helps in the more vanilla elements, the more vanilla areas of this Biomes of Plenty world. You know what? I'm actually pleasantly surprised with what we're dealing with here. It's not as obviously we're in very specific biomes to check. Maybe we want to head over there and have a look over there as well. But it's not as clunky, it's not as jarring as I thought it would be. Let's come into here. Now, this is obviously a very custom biome. This one, we are now in the wasteland. So a lot of this is going to be customized. And you can tell, look, we're not getting any movement in here for this stuff. But can we tell ourselves that, look, the wasteland, there's no atmosphere really. There's no... That was a bad thing to show, wasn't it? Sorry, guys. We do have some weird growth elements in Biomes of Plenty. Don't know why I'm saying we, but yeah, there is some weird growth elements in Biomes of Plenty here with the growing on the foliage. But can we, as an audience, be like, look, when we go into the wasteland biome, there's no atmosphere, there's no wind, maybe? I think you could. I think there's ways to really convince yourself. This is very much an all or nothing pack in terms of some of these biomes. This would be a nothing biome for the animations, whereas popping into like a biome like this where you do get the movement, it'll be on the borders that would be quite difficult to look and be like, well, why is this moving but that isn't, for instance. But again, you know what, I knew there would be some issues. And you look down here as well, we've got the custom dirt in here, got the grass block, using the Afreshed texture, using the variations that occur in some places while also changing the color. We've got that color transition for the biomes as well from using the vanilla block. Very nice. Very nice. I did say we were going to go in this direction, so let's go in this direction. I did think it was going to be a lot more jarring. I knew there was going to be some elements to the world which were going to be a little bit shaky, shall we say. But I didn't expect it to look as nice as it does there. Now over here, let's see some more of these custom biomes to see what kind of effect we get down here. This may be a question that nobody wants to know, but you can kind of gauge from this as well how texture packs would work in general. So like on here, what are we dealing with here? This is a cypress leaf. Cypress leaves obviously have no movement, so putting them side by side, that's the jarringness. Looking at that there, you can see the movement of the I think that's a dark oak tree, is it? Yeah, you can see the movement of the dark oak tree against the lack of movement of a cypress tree. So that is where we're going to have some issues on that. If Afreshed is going to get updated, it hasn't been updated since June 2025. If it was to get updated, obviously, I know a lot of people are going to sit here and be like, yo, can we get Biomes of Plenty updates? They would have to build that in. And obviously, 4KS Studios, Biomes of Plenty, they have put the information needed to make that kind of stuff happen. Whether or not they would, I don't know. I don't even know if it's going to get updated. I hope it does. Afreshed holds a very special place in my heart. While it's a very vanilla pack, and they're not my favorite, it does hold a very special place because it's one of the first packs that ever showed me about variation. It's one of the first texture packs that ever showed me about animation, and so I don't want to see it go, you know. Like, while I don't use it, I wondered what that was there. While I don't use it, I do really like it for what it brings in, and I hope it lives, man. I hope it lives. I hope it shines. Coming along here, let's see a bit more in here. I do really like how the textures merge together though. I think the custom trees of Biomes of Plenty mixed in with the custom art style of Afreshed is a very nice linking together. What do we have here? These are oak logs again with the movement, and you even get them in the custom tree designs too, which is very good. Honestly, I was very skeptical when I first saw Biomes of Plenty was using so many vanilla blocks, but ever since I've experienced it more and more, look here, podzol, but we've got animated podzol on here in the biome working absolutely fine. We've got the vanilla grass with the different tones, the different colors looking very good. I was very very skeptical about using so many vanilla blocks when I first explored it, especially at the price that it was. But the more I check it out, the more I look around, the more I combine it with packs, the more I'm just like, you know what? Vanilla grass, vanilla elements, vanilla foliage, great decision. Great decision. Looking around a bit more again, you just get the effect of the movements and stuff. Don't understate the custom textures as well. Those are really good. I see, do we have any like bright and colorful biomes? We've got another bit of like a wasteland here. Look around, we've also got a bit of a mesa there. Look at how alive the world looks as well by how different all of the biomes look. Again, I was very skeptical about 50 different biomes. And obviously there are certain restrictions with Biomes of Plenty at the moment, like villages, like structures and stuff like that. But the future's bright, man. The future is very, very bright. Coming along down here, what about along here? We started in one of these types of biomes. You can see the movement in places. You can obviously see sprouts, they don't have movements, not being a vanilla block, but just mixed in with a little bit of movement here. And with Minecraft being such a static game, any level of movement is very, very big. I think I remember watching, was it Good Times with Scar once? He was trying to explain how he does his builds on the Hermitcraft server. And he was very much like, when he builds, he's trying to give the illusion of movement in a game like Minecraft, which is very static. And a texture pack like Afreshed just flips that on its head. Really interesting in that sense. Let's go over here. See what we're dealing with a bit more on this way. I do wish there was a way that we could get our own level of customization. Just thinking of what Biomes of Plenty could do with the animation for a pack like this. Obviously, not everybody uses animation. Not everybody uses packs that likes to have movement in their design. So I wouldn't want to force it on people at all. But just having a way to make it work would be awesome as well. Like having everything move, having that perfection. That's one of the problems with Minecraft at the moment. Perfection is impossible to find. Perfection's impossible to find in the world, really, but it's very impossible to find packs that work perfectly together. It's very difficult to find packs that work 90% of the time together. But I have to say, for me, and I know this video probably is for me, so I'm going to end it there anyway, but just looking at what's possible, combining movement with static, this hasn't been as bad as I thought it was going to look. I really thought it was going to be jarring in a lot of places. Let me know what you guys think though. What did you think about pairing Afreshed with Biomes of Plenty? What do you think about pairing a movement texture pack with a non-movement world? Very interesting discussion there, I think. Please do leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this little mix-up. Let me know any other pack suggestions, pack combinations that you'd like to see. They don't have to involve Afreshed. They don't have to involve Biomes of Plenty. What kind of combinations would you like to see on the channel? Let me know down in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for all of the support here on Daz Man Reacts. It really does mean a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!